Often asked and discussed, and that is spotting that occurs in a menstrual cycle. So let's go back to the basics. As a period starts, how does a recovery take place, and how does a recovery of the endometrium take place? The recovery of endometrium in the first half of the follicular phase is based on estrogen production, and the second half is based on progesterone. So divide the spotting into where you see the spotting. So first and foremost, you have to rule out anatomical abnormalities of submucous fibroids, polyps, and you have to look at any cervical pathology that may be causing spotting. And this tends to occur in a more infrequent manner and over a longer period. So as a follicle starts growing, the spotting that tends to occur is early follicular phase spotting as the endometrium is building up and dependent on the follicle growing. As estrogen levels start climbing, the endometrium builds up and the spotting stops. So that is something which is seen in longer cycles. In cycles as women get older, the follicle growth tends to be slower, and that will prolong the spotting that continues. Spotting that occurs in a luteal phase is very much progesterone dependent. Where do you see it commonly? You see it commonly when spotting occurs 2 or 3 days just before the menstruation starts. Here it's not a cause for concern because the corpus luteum is going away and the breakdown of endometrium has started, and any intervention here is usually not helpful. The spotting that starts just after 7 days after ovulation is more concerning because the corpus luteum or the endometrium is breaking down, and that is progesterone dependent. So now 3 things could occur here. One is that the follicular phase determines what happens in the luteal phase, which means egg quality can be affected. And so if egg quality is affected, it produces a poorer corpus luteum, and that's been proved. Next is that the corpus luteum dies early, and that could again be follicular phase dependent, egg quality, or it could be how luteinization of cells has occurred. And if that is poor, adding HCG may prolong the life of the corpus luteum and allow that the LH activity to continue, and if that can cure it. Third is there is an endometrial problem which is difficult to treat because you can support by giving progesterone, but that doesn't change the molecular basis. And that is something which you'll have to be more concerned about. So that's in short about what happens with spotting in the follicular and luteal phase.